Welcome to Signature Tube. My name is Ben Schachter, broker and president of the Signature Real Estate Companies. Today I am accompanied by a fascinating gentleman, Howard Newmark, the owner and CEO of The Mold Inspector. Howard, welcome.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Howard, we have real estate agents all across Florida and the nation who tune into Signature Tube to learn about skilled professionals. We're very selective at Signature as to who we affiliate with because, of course, our company has a great reputation and standards to uphold, and we're only going to recommend, support, and endorse people that we know subscribe to high levels of business ethics and morals, people that we trust, people that we know they're going to minimally do as good of a job as we do in real estate, preferably even better. So we're thrilled to endorse you as one of our Signature vendors and affiliates. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That is not an easy accomplishment because we are quite discerning and selective, so we're happy to have you.
It's great to be here.
Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself personally, as well as the Mold Inspector, which they're most interested to learn about.
Okay, well, the most important thing to understand is how I got into this industry to start with, which was because one of my children as a very young child was severely asthmatic, had a horrible hyperbronchial activity. We had made too many trips to the emergency room in the middle of the night in our pajamas with a son who was gasping for breath, making a noise that was just horrid beyond description. Having not been satisfied with what the medical community provided to us for cause and effect, I took it upon myself as a responsible parent to investigate and what led me to indoor air quality and a number of the issues related with indoor air quality and some of the health symptoms that are directly attributed to poor or questionable indoor air quality.
Well, that is a very personal experience, and I hope your son is doing okay now.
He's 28. He's an engineer in Austin, Texas. He's happy as a clam.
That's good to hear, thank God. It's nice to hear that you took such a personal role in developing this profession. So tell us, the mold inspection, tell us about the process, tell us what's involved, because that's a scary word for a lot of people in South Florida, and immediately when they hear mold, they want to run the other way.
Well, it's a scary word because it's a very misunderstood word. Mold by itself is actually necessary for life in this, this planet of ours. So understanding that it has an important and necessary function in nature helps us understand and keep in perspective or keep in context the role it plays in the indoor environment, which is what we're typically concerned about with real estate transactions. Mold is present everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's a matter of identifying how much mold is there and why it's there that'll determine whether or not we're dealing with an actionable condition that warrants further attention.
As a parent, and I have young children myself, if I think a property has mold, of course I'm not going to want to buy it. But that's a mistake because, as you just said, mold is everywhere. Tell us the type of tests that you conduct typically for me as a parent or for anyone who's curious to know about the mold existence and concerns in a home.
Okay, objective scientific testing, which consists of air sampling and surface sampling. There's a number of different medias that we can use depending on the application and the environment we're looking at. But correlating the indoor air quality with regards to spore counts and also looking at the cleanliness of the air conditioning systems, which would be the man-made version of our wind that we find in nature, which is how mold moves and propagates in an environment. Understanding the connection between those two air and surface conditions can help us keep in perspective how large or small or how normal or abnormal a condition may actually be with regards to mold and indoor air quality.
You mentioned surface tests. So are you actually putting your fingers to feel it with your hands, or how are you testing on a surface?
There's a number of methods. The two most notable methods are the lift tape method, which takes an adhesive microscope slide and presses it to a surface to pick up microscopic particles directly from that surface. The other very useful method is to use a swab, a moistened swab, that will roll up against a particular surface. This is very useful when dealing with air conditioning ducts, air handling units, and other hard to reach places. And both of these will allow us to find out directly what is on a particular surface.
And when you collect these surface and air sample qualities, what then do you do with them to test them?
Okay, the air and the surface samples are taken only to an accredited independent laboratory for analysis, and once those analysis numbers are sent back to me in a matrix format that is easily understood to a trained professional, I can interpret the lab data and then make a determination, draw a conclusion, if you will, as to the normalcy or abnormalcy of the conditions represented by those samples.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, just because there's mold doesn't mean the property is a problem. It depends on the type of mold, the quantity of mold, and whether it needs to be addressed or not. So we shouldn't be fearful just because we hear the word mold. Is that correct?
Correct. Like everything that takes place with a real estate transaction, there's a lot of moving parts, and everything always needs to be kept in context.
Wonderful. Now, in a real estate transaction, frequently it's the buyer that orders a mold test because they're not familiar with the property they're buying. It could be anybody, but more often than not, it's the buyer. The buyer usually has a narrow window of time to assess the property before they're locked into a contract or their money becomes non-refundable. We call it going hard, where the money is locked in. How quickly, once we have an appointment with you, can you actually perform the tests, send out to your laboratory, and return the results to the consumer so that they can make an informed decision?
Okay. Being part of the Signature family, I definitely create every Signature transaction as a VIP event. My schedule will be worked around your schedule. Due diligence periods can vary for a number of reasons, holidays, all sorts of extenuating circumstances. Once I'm on site, I will get same day, no later than next day answers for you.
Oh, that's wonderful. So when we schedule you, if I was to call you today and I had you out on Thursday of this week, and that was available for you, then I should anticipate hopefully having the results of the mold test either Thursday or Friday?
You will hear from me absolutely Thursday or Friday at the latest.
That's wonderful. That is VIP service, and we appreciate that because we want to provide great value to our customers, and the more informed they are, the better it is for everybody. So that's tremendously valuable. Now, you've told us your personal experience with your son, who's thank goodness doing well now. Who else, if anyone else in your firm, will we be dealing with, or is it a one-man solution, or do you have a team around you that supports you?
I will be the point of contact for everybody. There is a behind-the-scenes group of family members that is my team that makes me look good every day. But I'll be the guy. I'll be the guy that you're talking to on a daily basis. Absolutely.
And you're the one that actually comes in the field to
I
conduct
am
the test.
the only person who is qualified to come out and take those tests and reach the conclusions accordingly.
And since you're based here in the Boca Raton area, what is a comfortable geographical footprint north and south that you're willing to travel to conduct these tests?
Palm Beach and Broward County is very much my comfort zone.
Wonderful. And are you just as skilled to test commercial property as you are residential property?
Residential, commercial, I work on all sorts of structures, absolutely.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want to share with our viewership?
Yeah, I can share with you a lot. I'll try to keep it short. Not only being a proven problem solver, the mold inspector and myself as the licensed mold assessor, I contribute greatly to the state of Florida through the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. I write and teach continued edge courses for the mold-related services industry. I also am recognized as an expert witness in the Florida legal community. My experience both at the depot table and through teaching and having a lot of give and take with interactive courses helps me understand the importance of not just communicating what the raw information is, but understanding the how, what's, where, whens, and whys behind it, so that when you're looking for guidance, when you're looking for insight, when you're looking for intellectual honesty and articulate answers that will be above reproach, knowing that you've got a professional that can withstand all sorts of challenges from unknown sources. The mold inspector, myself, Howard Newmark, my license number is 3. Out of thousands of licenses, I've been the 3rd person in the state of Florida that has been licensed and authorized to collect the mold samples and provide these kinds of expert services.
License number 3. You've got me beat. That is phenomenal. In real estate, I'm in the tens of thousands, so that's really, really remarkable. And that only attests to the fact of why we chose you as our preferred vendor, because we know you're going to do the job right every time without fail, and we support you and endorse you completely.
Absolutely.
Howard
Thank
Newmark,
you so much.
ladies and gentlemen, a real expert in his field. I told you a touching story about his son, how it shaped his career path over the past 20 plus years. And now the opportunity is yours to use Howard and the mold inspector for investigating any residential or commercial property in Palm Beach and Broward County. Thrilled to work with Howard, thrilled to support his business, and know that he's going to do wonderful things for our customers and our real estate agents. Howard, thank you so much for being here today. And of course, thank you to our viewers for tuning in to Signature Tube. As you know, all of Howard's contact information will be embedded here in the video, so you'll be able to reach out to him. And we encourage you to reach out to Howard and the mold inspector, the man, the myth, the legend, inspector number 3 in the state of Florida, Howard Newmark. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to join us next time at Signature Tube to learn from another awesome Signature vendor and affiliate right here from the Signature Real Estate Company's headquarters. Have a great day.